got the clutches off of the 5-horse Dingo, and as you can see, these aren't touching, so either this spring is worn a little too much or they didn't put it together correctly when they had it apart. It looks like it was used. I don't know if they got it on eBay or what, but it is asymmetrical, just like the drive clutch. Gonna have to take it apart and clean it up and see about that spring. I'm pretty sure that the dogs and springs in here are good. I believe when I first got it, I took it apart and I lubed it, graphite lube. But I should take the dogs apart and see if they're alright. So I'm cleaning up the driven. This one comes off of here. This is a bushing. As you can see, it's pretty gummed up in there. But anyway, that goes on there, and this goes on top, and this spring goes onto here, and then you have to rotate it one way or the other. I believe it's this way, and then you put the C-clip on to keep it all in place. I'm not sure if this is stock or not. It's kind of like a key ring type. I've never seen one before on a torque converter. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. But I'm gonna clean this side of this. I already did a little bit, and I cleaned a little bit on the inside of that because it was pretty gummy, and I'm gonna clean under there too. And then hopefully that'll help it to engage and disengage better. But we'll see. I'm cleaning this up, and it goes together way easier. And this can actually spin. Maybe. A lot easier anyway. I'm gonna have to look up if you can lube this bushing or if you just leave it. I know on the drive that you use graphite and you spray it inside the cup. Spray it in here, just on this beveled area. But I'm not too sure about the driven. I have to look that up again. But it's looking good. Hopefully I can use this clutch and don't have to rob the other one. We'll see. So this inner piece here is supposed to ride freely, because when the engine RPMs go up, this pushes in, but it doesn't want to go in all the way, so I'm going to end up cleaning that up too and try and get that to move better. Like I said before, I think these are alright. They're a little rusty, but they seem to be in good shape. Otherwise, well, I guess I'll clean those up then. Alright, so I was having a hard time with this piece, and you can probably see there's like a lip in there, and it goes all the way around, and it was getting to about there, and then it would bind really bad. And I was using sandpaper on it and trying to fold it over with a screwdriver and get it in those grooves and everything, and it was still giving me hell after about 20 minutes. So then I thought about using this valve grinding compound, and I just layered it on around the top edge here, it was still pretty tight at first. So I pounded it back and forth, and now it's to the point where it's moving back and forth pretty good. I mean, it's tight right now because I haven't cleaned the compound out yet. But I think that this might do the trick once I clean all that grinding compound off. But we'll see. Alright, so after running the valve grinding compound in there for a little while, this is what you want. You want it to move through there freely so the sheaves can come together and pinch the belt, which gives it the higher gears, basically. But I'm not sure if I'm going to put some graphite lube on there or not. I don't believe that you need to, but I might put a thin coat of this graphite dry lube, which I got at Home Depot. And that's what you use to lube right there on the outer cover of the outer sheave. Alright, I believe I'm going to be able to use this one, and that means that I'll just have to swap the Predator over and the shaft should be in the same position. As long as the tank doesn't hit the back of the seat, we should be good to go. I didn't end up taking the weights and springs apart because really there's not anything that can go wrong as long as they're together and that they slide open freely. So if these don't get bent and these springs don't break or anything, then they're good to go. And this is how you apply the graphite lube to the outer sheave cover. That's it. You just want to make sure that it's covered and that there's no grass in it. So I've got the driven unit back together. I use this big C-clamp. It's probably best to do with two people to try and get the C-clip on. But I did it with one, and I've done it before with one. You see this, you basically put the spring on, and then you want to clock it so this is, you want to turn it this way so the point is behind the bumpers. And this is pretty much what you want it to do. I should have shown it before I cleaned it up, but it was getting stuck like that, and I think that they had put it back together so this was on this side, which would leave no tension for it to retract, so there was no spring in it. But yeah, that's what you want it to do. And thank goodness this spring is good, so this should be able to go right back on there. I think I'm going to clean up in here with just a wire wheel, but for the most part the belt will do the job of cleaning that up when it runs. Alright, I think that's it for the clutch.